I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
Stupid. He's a punk. He's a dog. He's a pig. He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about.
The air above the Paletta festivals was dense with expectation, mingling with the salty breeze from the Mediterranean. As twilight descended on the Croisette, a soft golden hue bathed the palm trees and marble facades, lending the evening a timeless, almost surreal quality. Photographers lined the velvet barriers like sentinels, their fingers poised on triggers, eyes tracking every subtle movement on the red carpet. The murmur of the crowd was pierced intermittently by flashes and the sharp clicks of cameras. Robert De Niro moved with quiet gravity, each step deliberate, purposeful. Despite his age, there was no falter in his stride, no tremor in his posture. His face, lined by decades of performances, controversies, and unwavering principle, was unreadable, yet behind the measured expression there was a storm brewing. This was not merely an evening of honor. For De Niro, it was an opportunity to remind the world that silence, even in celebration, could be complicity. Inside the Grand Theatre Lumiere, the seats were filled with luminaries, critics, and delegates from every continent. The atmosphere shimmered with reverence. A standing ovation began even before he reached the podium. The applause was not just for a man, but for an era of cinema he embodied, gritty, honest, and unapologetically political. Behind him, a giant screen flickered with stills from his storied career. Travis Bickle, Jake LaMotta, Vito Corleone. The images were ghosts of roles that had shaped global cinema and, in many ways, public consciousness. He adjusted his cufflinks slowly, deliberately, letting the applause settle. Though he held notes, his fingers barely glanced at them. Each line had been rehearsed, not in front of a mirror, but through the lens of history. He had watched too many of his peers retreat into comfortable neutrality. Tonight, he would not do the same. Outside the theater, the streets of Cannes buzzed with speculation. Journalists debated whether he would address recent political developments or keep the focus on film. Opinion pieces had already been drafted, prepared to be edited, depending on the direction of his speech. Inside the auditorium, however, time seemed to slow. A few in the crowd leaned forward slightly, sensing that what was about to follow might resonate far beyond the festival walls. As he began to speak, the cameras zoomed in, capturing the faintest furrow of his brow. His voice, aged yet steady, carried through the room without strain. He spoke not only of cinema, but of its purpose, how it could confront power, challenge narratives, and preserve truths when history was rewritten in real time. He named no names at first, but the undertones were unmistakable. Those seated near the front, veterans of political theater in Hollywood, exchanged glances. They understood the implications. De Niro's words were carefully chosen, yet sharpened with intent. His criticism, though veiled in artistic language, bore the unmistakable weight of accusation. He invoked the responsibility of creators, not to entertain passively, but to resist actively. Art, he insisted, was the last bastion when democracy trembled. The audience, at first respectfully quiet, grew more still. Some sat motionless, transfixed. Others shifted uncomfortably, realizing the speech was no longer about film, but about the fragility of the world outside the cinema's gilded confines. A few heads turned toward the rows reserved for American producers and studio executives. The tension was palpable, though no one spoke. Backstage, festival organizers watched closely, whispering into headsets, gauging the reaction in real time. They knew the festival would trend globally before the night was over. Already, the first clips of De Niro's speech were being clipped and posted, shared across networks and group chats with breathless captions. The hashtag surged again, joined by others. Analysts would dissect each sentence before the night ended. When he concluded, he did so not with fanfare, but with a simple nod to the audience. No theatrical pause, no practice smile. Just the end of a message delivered like a warning. The room erupted in applause again, But it was no longer celebratory. It was reverent, almost uneasy. As he walked off stage, the spotlight softened behind him. There was no encore, no second address. Only the echoes of his words remained, sinking into the velvet seats and marble columns, into the hearts of those who had just witnessed a performance unlike any other in his career. One that used no camera, no director, and no script but history itself. The grand auditorium of the Cannes Film Festival shimmered under the glow of crystal chandeliers, its vast expanse filled with a sea of filmmakers, critics, and journalists, their cameras poised to capture every nuance of the evening's ceremony. Robert De Niro, at 81, ascended the stage with a measured grace, his black tuxedo absorbing the spotlight, its elegance a stark contrast to the fierce determination etched into his weathered features. The golden palm, clutched in his hands, gleamed as a symbol of his storied legacy, its weight a reminder of the platform he now commanded. Beside him stood Leonardo DiCaprio, his presence lending an unspoken gravitas to the moment, their shared history in cinema amplifying the significance of De Niro's appearance. The audience erupted in applause, a wave of admiration for the iconic actor, yet an undercurrent of tension pulsed through the room, stirred by the anticipation of his acceptance speech. De Niro's steps were deliberate, his posture unyielding as he approached the podium. The golden palm resting beside a sheaf of notes he had prepared, their contents a searing indictment of Donald Trump's assault on democracy and the arts. The auditorium, a crucible of cultural reverence, buzzed with the soft clicks of camera shutters and the faint rustle of programs. The air thick with the scent of anticipation and the weight of a moment poised to transcend the festival's glamour. Journalists, expecting a conventional speech of gratitude, scrolled through their phones, their attention fragmented, unaware that De Niro's words were about to upend their assumptions and ignite a global conversation. His eyes, alight with a passion honed by decades of confronting injustice, scanned the crowd, registering the faces of industry titans and emerging artists alike, each one a witness to the stand he was prepared to take. The applause faded into a charged silence, the audience leaning forward as De Niro began his address, his hands gripping the podium, the notes before him a roadmap to a condemnation of Trump's autocratic tendencies. The cameras zoomed in, their lenses capturing the intensity in his expression, the lines of his face telling a story of defiance that resonated beyond the stage. DiCaprio, standing just behind, offered a subtle nod, his presence a silent endorsement of De Niro's mission, their camaraderie a quiet force in the room's dynamic. The journalists, lulled by the festival's predictable rhythms, were caught off guard as De Niro's speech veered into a passionate critique, his gestures sharp and deliberate, each movement underscoring the urgency of his message. The auditorium's atmosphere shifted, the initial warmth giving way to a taut alertness as attendees sensed the gravity of his intent. De Niro's notes, scribbled in the quiet hours before the ceremony, were more than a speech. They were a call to arms, a challenge to the global cultural community to resist the erosion of democratic values and artistic freedom. His fingers tightened around the podium's edge, the golden palm glinting beside him, a symbol of the artistic legacy he sought to protect. The audience, now fully engaged, hung on his every gesture, their murmurs stilled by the weight of his conviction. The journalists, their phones now forgotten, scribbled furiously, their pens racing to capture the moment as De Niro condemned Trump's policies, his voice resonating through the hall, a clarion call that pierced the festival's polished veneer. The cameras, operated by seasoned professionals, adjusted their focus, their footage destined to flood news cycles and social media, immortalizing a speech that defied the expectations of a celebratory evening. The tension in the room was palpable, the audience's reactions a mix of awe and unease as De Niro pressed forward, his critique of Trump's tariffs on foreign films and cuts to arts funding striking a chord with the international crowd. The presence of DiCaprio, a global advocate for environmental and social causes, amplified the speech's impact, his silent support a bridge between Hollywood and the world stage. The journalists, now fully alert, exchanged glances, their initial indifference replaced by a dawning recognition that De Niro's words would dominate headlines, their pre-written stories about festival glamour rendered obsolete. The auditorium, a temple of cinematic artistry, became a battleground of ideas, its occupants unwitting participants in a moment that would ripple far beyond glittering shores. De Niro's resolve, forged through years of outspoken criticism, burned brightly, his speech a culmination of his long-standing disdain for Trump's disregard for truth and diversity. The Golden Palm, a testament to his contributions to film, stood as a silent witness to his defiance, its luster mirroring the fire in his eyes. The audience, a microcosm of the global creative community, absorbed his message, their applause swelling as he concluded, a thunderous affirmation of his call to action. The cameras captured every angle, their operators sensing a historic moment, while the journalists, now scrambling to file their reports, recognized that De Niro had transformed a Lifetime Achievement Award into a platform for resistance, setting the stage for a cultural and political reckoning that would echo across continents. The night deepened over Cannes, its glittering lights along the Côte d'Azur casting a shimmering reflection through the expansive windows of Robert De Niro's hotel suite, where he convened his team in a late-hour strategy session, the echo of his fiery speech still reverberating across global media. At 81, De Niro, his black tuxedo now replaced with a casual sweater, channeled his passion into a calculated offensive, his weathered hands steady as he reviewed notes from the festival's aftermath. The suite, a temporary command center, buzzed with the soft glow of laptops and the faint clink of coffee cups, the air thick with the scent of determination and the weight of a mission to amplify his stand against Donald Trump's cultural assaults. Sarah Levi, his publicist, sat at a sleek table, her laptop screen scrolling through X posts under the hashtag De Niro Speaks, a digital battlefield where supporters demanded action, their messages a growing chorus, while detractors branded him a political agitator, their scorn a challenge he was prepared to meet. Sarah's fingers danced across the keyboard as she analyzed real-time reactions to De Niro's speech, her screen displaying analytics that tracked the hashtag's viral spread, its posts surging in Europe and North America. She initiated a secure call with Oliver Kane, a media strategist whose campaigns had shaped public narratives for cultural icons, his expertise now pivotal to transforming De Niro's moment into a movement. Oliver, his tablet cluttered with policy briefs, began compiling data on Trump's cultural initiatives, focusing on proposed tariffs and funding cuts that threaten the arts, his algorithms sifting through government reports to uncover their impact on global cinema. De Niro, his eyes sharp with focus, requested a comprehensive dossier on Trump's policies, his hope pinned on exposing their destructive scope to rally the international creative community. As Oliver outlined his strategy, De Niro's encrypted email pinged with a message from Emily Ross, a Hollywood insider who had witnessed Trump's influence on industry regulations. Attached was a file that sent a jolt through De Niro, a leaked document detailing Trump's plan to impose 100% tariffs on foreign films, a policy aimed at stifling international cinema under the guise of economic protectionism. De Niro forwarded the file to his team, his pulse quickening as he recognized its potential to galvanize public outrage and expose Trump's autocratic tendencies. The discovery transformed the suite into a war room, its occupants moving with renewed urgency, their collective focus a silent vow to turn De Niro's speech into a catalyst for resistance against cultural suppression. Sarah leaned over her laptop, drafting a campaign framework for #Art versus Autocracy, a hashtag designed to unite artists, filmmakers, and activists in a global push for creative freedom, its clarity crafted to ignite viral momentum. Oliver's tablet flashed with preliminary findings, his analysis revealing Trump's cuts to the National Endowment for the Arts and restrictions on diversity-driven projects, policies that echoed the tariffs' chilling effect. Emily's document, now printed and annotated, lay at the table's center, its stark language a damning indictment of Trump's cultural agenda, its specifics a blueprint for exposing his priorities. The team worked late, their concentration unbroken, driven by a shared conviction that art, could outmaneuver authoritarianism. De Niro's gaze drifted to the window, the Mediterranean's dark expanse a reminder of the stakes, his resolve hardened by the weight of his legacy. The suite, bathed in the soft glow of desk lamps, became a crucible of preparation, each document a building block in a case designed to shift the global cultural narrative. De Niro's fingers traced the edge of his notes, their contents, policy critiques, historical parallels, and now Emily's leak, a testament to his decades of advocacy. The hashtag art versus autocracy began trending, its posts joined by hashtag Save Cinema, a grassroots signal of growing public alarm. The team's synergy, fueled by Sarah's media acumen, Oliver's strategic precision, and Emily's insider revelations, positioned them to strike at Trump's cultural policies with surgical accuracy. De Niro stood, his sweater a quiet contrast to the tuxedo of hours earlier, his presence a bridge between Hollywood's past and its embattled future as he prepared to carry their evidence into the public eye, ready to transform a festival speech into a global call to defend the arts against the shadow of autocracy. A week after the strategic gathering in his hotel suite, Robert De Niro unleashed his evidence to the global media, igniting a firestorm that surged across digital platforms and reverberated through cultural capitals worldwide. The hashtag art versus autocracy soared to global trending status on X, propelled by a viral video of De Niro's speech, where he branded Donald Trump a Philistine president, its millions of views fueling outrage at Trump's cultural policies. Oliver Kane, the media strategist, operated from a digital command center, coordinating a network of activists and filmmakers who produced incisive montages, splicing clips of De Niro's speech with stark text overlays. Trump versus art, De Niro for freedom. The videos spread rapidly, shared by artists, educators, and cinephiles, transforming De Niro's festival moment into a rallying cry that challenged Trump's assault on creative expression. In De Niro's temporary office, Sarah Leavitt delivered a meticulously compiled dossier, its pages exposing Trump's systematic cuts to the National Endowment for the Arts and Humanities programs, alongside proposed 100% tariffs on foreign films that threatened to choke international cinema. The dossier, fortified by Emily Ross's leaked document and Oliver's policy analysis, painted a damning portrait of a president whose cultural agenda prioritized control over creativity, its clarity a testament to De Niro's resolve. Sarah prepped De Niro for a high-profile CNN appearance, handing him printed copies of Trump's tariff plans, their stark figures a chilling blueprint for cultural suppression. On air, De Niro sat poised in his black sweater, his weathered face commanding the studio as he accused Trump of stifling artistic freedom, his steady delivery resonating with viewers and sparking a surge in online engagement. The hashtag Save Cinema joining the digital uprising. Protests erupted in Los Angeles, swelling into a vibrant coalition of artists, actors, and students who marched through Hollywood Boulevard, their placards proclaiming, "Art is not a commodity," in bold colors, their chants echoing under the California sun. The crowd, a tapestry of cultural advocates and disillusioned voters, stood united in their demand for creative liberty, their signs a direct challenge to Trump's policies, amplified by the global reach of De Niro's speech. Inside his Mar-a-Lago office, Trump secluded himself, the blinds drawn as he watched the news unfold on a flickering screen, his face taut with irritation, his fingers nervously scrolling through his phone in a futile attempt to counter the narrative. His team, scrambling to issue denials, found themselves outmaneuvered by the viral momentum of De Niro's revelations, their usual media dominance eroded by the actor's evidence. De Niro stood at his hotel window, the Mediterranean Sea stretching before him, its dark waves a canvas of possibility reflecting the stakes of his campaign. His hand rested on a folder brimming with fresh evidence. Additional policy memos, budget cuts, and a 2024 directive where Trump's administration prioritized patriotic art over diverse voices, each piece a weapon poised to deepen public outrage. Oliver's tablet buzzed with analytics, showing hashtag art versus autocracy climbing higher, its posts now amplified by hashtag culture under attack, a grassroots call for resistance gaining traction globally. The dossier lay on a nearby table, its contents a roadmap to exposing a pattern of cultural censorship masquerading as economic policy. Its pages a testament to the team's relentless preparation. De Niro's gaze lingered on the horizon, his mind sharp with the certainty that the fight was far from over, his sweater a quiet emblem of his enduring commitment. The media frenzy intensified, with outlets like the New York Times running exposés on Trump's arts funding cuts, their reporters citing De Niro's speech as a catalyst, while Variety hailed him as a defender of global cinema. The Los Angeles protests grew louder, their energy spilling into social media, where influencers posted side-by-side comparisons of Trump's policies and De Niro's critiques, each viral thread a blow to the administration's credibility. Trump's office, once a hub of political control, became a bunker under siege, his aides' frantic calls to allies drowned out by a public awakened to the threat against culture. De Niro's evidence, now circulating in press packets distributed to major outlets, ensured the story's permanence, its verified documents a shield against accusations of exaggeration. De Niro's resolve, forged through years of outspoken advocacy, burned brighter with each new post that championed his cause. The hashtag art versus autocracy, now a global phenomenon, carried stories of filmmakers facing censorship, students rallying for arts education, and voters demanding accountability, their voices amplifying De Niro's message beyond congilded halls. Oliver's coordination with activists ensured maximum exposure, their montages viewed by millions, each frame a reminder of Trump's private disdain for the diversity he publicly dismissed. Sarah, monitoring the media landscape, noted a shift in tone among reporters, their questions now probing Trump's motives, their skepticism aimed at a president who had underestimated De Niro's influence. De Niro, standing alone at his window, felt the weight of his mission, his hand clutching the folder as he prepared to press the advantage, ready to turn a festival speech into a lasting stand for the soul of art in an era of autocratic shadow. The CNN studio in New York City thrummed with a charged intensity, its sleek set packed with journalists, producers, and camera crews, their equipment casting a soft glow as they live-streamed a pivotal interview that had captivated a global audience. Robert De Niro, at 81, sat poised in a plush chair, his black tuxedo impeccable, its sharp lines underscoring the fierce passion in his eyes as he prepared to amplify his condemnation of Donald Trump's cultural policies. The studio, a crucible of media scrutiny, buzzed with the faint hum of monitors and the rustle of notepads, the air thick with the scent of anticipation and the weight of a moment poised to reshape the cultural narrative. Trump, watching from his Mar-a-Lago office, gripped his phone, his face a mask of fury, his once unassailable influence fraying under the spotlight of De Niro's relentless campaign. Oliver Kane, De Niro's media strategist, stepped forward with a commanding presence, his tablet connected to a large screen that dominated the studio, its display illuminating a leaked document detailing Trump's proposed 100% tariffs on foreign films, a policy threatening to cripple the global cinema industry. The audience gasped, a collective jolt of shock rippling through the room as Oliver projected a series of emails, obtained through Emily Ross's whistleblower leak, where Trump discussed censoring unpatriotic film projects to align with his cultural agenda. The journalists, their pens racing, leaned forward, their earlier skepticism replaced by a dawning recognition of the stakes, the cameras zooming in to capture the unraveling of a president's priorities. The screen's stark clarity laid bare Trump's manipulation, each revelation a blow to his public image. Emily Ross, the Hollywood insider who had risked her career to expose Trump's cultural overreach, appeared via a pre-recorded video, her testimony confirming the authenticity of the leaked documents and revealing how Trump had pressured cultural institutions to prioritize nationalist narratives, sidelining diverse voices. Her words, delivered with quiet resolve, sent ripples through the studio, the reporters scribbling furiously, their questions forming as they processed the depth of Trump's interference. Outside, the chant of Hollywood protesters, De Niro for art, echoed through social media, their voices amplified by the hashtag Art vs. Autocracy campaign that had surged to millions of posts, its hashtags trending across continents. Trump, his fists clenched, glared at the broadcast, his anger palpable as Oliver unveiled a 2024 directive slashing grants for independent artists, a policy buried in bureaucratic jargon, but now exposed as a direct attack on creative freedom. De Niro sat steady, his hand tightening around a pen, its cool metal grounding him as he absorbed the weight of the moment. His tuxedo, a symbol of his enduring stature, seemed to absorb the studio's harsh lighting, casting him as a figure of unwavering authority amidst the media storm. The cameras, panning between Oliver's damning slides and Trump's distant reaction, captured a clash that transcended a single interview, their footage destined to dominate global news cycles. Oliver, his presentation unrelenting, accused Trump of waging a systematic assault on artistic liberty, his voice measured but forceful, each point a nail in the coffin of the administration's cultural narrative. The studio erupted in a flurry of questions, the journalists' voices overlapping as producers struggled to maintain order, their efforts drowned by the chaos of a room transformed into a battleground of truth and power. The atmosphere shifted from tension to a charged reckoning. The reporters' reactions a mix of disbelief and urgency as they witnessed a cultural icon dismantle a president's agenda. De Niro's composure, a stark contrast to Trump's visible rage, drew the camera's focus, their lenses documenting a man who had turned a Lifetime Achievement Award into a platform for resistance. The pen in his hand felt like a talisman, a reminder of the decades spent advocating for truth, a conviction that now fueled his quiet triumph. The protesters' chants, now viral on X, resonated with millions, their placards a vibrant demand for a cultural renaissance that echoed the global outcry sparked by De Niro's campaign. The studio, a nexus of media and influence, stood as the stage where an 81-year-old actor transformed a policy critique into a public indictment, forcing a powerful figure to confront the consequences of his own actions in real time. The morning after the explosive CNN interview bathed New York City in a soft, golden light, its gentle rays filtering through skyscrapers as if heralding a cultural awakening sparked by Robert De Niro's relentless campaign. At 81, De Niro had not only exposed Donald Trump's assault on the arts, but had galvanized a global movement, his evidence forcing media outlets to acknowledge the truth, compelling the Trump administration to issue a defensive statement framing its tariffs as economic protection. Social media erupted in a triumphant surge, the hashtag De Niro Triumph dominating X, its posts a vibrant celebration, while a video of Oliver Kane's presentation, meticulously unveiling Trump's cultural policies, amassed 30 million views, each frame a testament to the power of art over autocracy. The protests that had gripped Hollywood transformed into vibrant festivals of creativity, with thousands gathering along Sunset Boulevard, their placards proclaiming culture prevails in bold colors, a living mosaic of resistance under the California sun. De Niro took the stage on a sunlit platform in Los Angeles, his black tuxedo gleaming, its elegance a symbol of the enduring resolve that had carried him from Cannes to this moment of triumph. His eyes, radiant with dignity, surveyed the crowd, a diverse coalition of filmmakers, artists, and students who had rallied behind his call to defend artistic freedom, their cheers a harmonious anthem of solidarity. The air was alive with the scent of paint and the energy of a cultural renaissance, the boulevard a testament to an actor who had turned a policy critique into a global stand for liberty. Major news outlets amplified the moment, with the New York Times hailing De Niro as a defender of freedom, their editorials dissecting his impact, while Variety crowned him the voice of art, a rare consensus across media divides that underscored his influence. In stark contrast, Trump secluded himself in his Mar-a-Lago office, the blinds drawn as he watched the news unfold on a muted screen, his face a hollow mask of defeat, his once dominant presence diminished by the weight of De Niro's revelations. His cultural agenda, once cloaked in patriotic rhetoric, now lay exposed as a tool of control, his name tied to policies that alienated the creative community. Oliver Kane returned to their New York office, where an email from a prominent director awaited, its words praising the team for saving culture, a quiet tribute pinned beside a printed copy of the tariff plan that had sparked the uprising. The office, once a hub of urgent strategizing, now hummed with a sense of accomplishment, its windows reflecting the city's lights as a beacon of hope. De Niro stood at his hotel window, the Los Angeles skyline stretching before him, its twinkling constellation a reminder of the broader mission he had ignited. The media frenzy continued, with outlets like The Guardian running features on Trump's arts funding cuts, their reporters citing De Niro's campaign as a turning point, while indie blogs celebrated his role in galvanizing young artists. The Hollywood festivals evolved into showcases of diverse voices, with filmmakers screening works that defied Trump's nationalist mandates, their defiance a powerful rebuke to censorship. De Niro's image, captured in a viral photograph standing resolute in his tuxedo, became a symbol of resistance, shared millions of times with captions hailing him as the guardian of creativity, a figure who had exposed the fragility of autocratic control. Trump, alone in his office, sifted through a stack of news clippings, his hands trembling as he confronted the erosion of his cultural influence. The news channels, once platforms for his bravado, now dissected his policies, their reports a relentless reminder of his miscalculation in dismissing De Niro's reach. A memo from a senior aide, urging a retreat from cultural battles, lay unopened on his desk, its presence a silent acknowledgement of his setback. In De Niro's office, Oliver and the team reviewed messages from supporters, each one a story of empowerment. A director emboldened to challenge censorship, a student inspired to advocate for arts funding. The dossier, once a weapon of confrontation, now rested in a secure drawer, its purpose fulfilled, its pages a record of a cultural victory won through conviction and evidence. De Niro's gaze lingered on the horizon, the city's pulse syncing with his own, his tuxedo a quiet emblem of his journey from revered actor to cultural warrior. The victory belonged not just to him, but to every artist silenced by policy, every filmmaker stifled by tariffs, every student yearning for creative freedom. Social media analytics showed #DeNiroTriumph climbing higher, its reach extending to Europe and Asia, where festivals cited his campaign as inspiration for local resistance. The office, now a hub of forward-looking plans, buzzed with ideas for a global coalition to protect the arts, a legacy De Niro intended to nurture. The boulevard, now a symbol of triumph, glowed with evening light as artists gathered, their creations a testament to the freedom De Niro had championed, his presence woven into the fabric of their celebration as he stood poised to lead a new era where art and truth defied the shadow of tyranny.